You must cook with water from a dead body. Only then will your food be irresistible to the villagers.
Mama Ofe-Akwu was horrified at the suggestion. Once upon a time, in a small African village called De-onii, life was simple and the people were contented. But one thing that the villagers loved more than any other thing else was food, especially a local delicacy called Ofe-Akwu, a rich pan nut soup that was served with rice. For years, there has been one woman who was famous for her extraordinary cooking, Mama Ofe-Akwu. Mama Ofe-Akwu, whose real name was Nnenna, had earned the nickname because of how well she made the dish. Every morning, before the first cock crowed, she would rise, gather fresh ingredients, and begin preparing her magical soup. The aroma of her cooking would fill the entire village, drawing people from far and near. Her shop was always busy with customers, and people would rush to get a plate of their rice and Ofe-Akwu before it is sold out. Her fame spread even beyond De-onii, and the traders who passed through the village would stop by her shop to get a taste. The money was flowing, and the life was good for Mama Ofe-Akwu. She has become the heart of the village, loved by everyone. But as they say, all good things come with challenges. The arrival of Carol. One day, a woman named Carol returned to the village. Carol had been living in the city for many years and had come back to the village of De-onii after learning about Mama Ofe-Akwu's success. Unlike Mama Ofe-Akwu, Carol was young, modern, and confident. She had city manners and brought with her new ideas. She decided to open her own food shop, hoping to compete with Mama Ofe-Akwu. Carol's shop was bright and fancy, with colorful signs and tables. She sold food that was different from traditional meals Mama Ofe-Akwu was known for. Her meals were trending, with spices and flavor that the village had never tasted. Slowly, the villagers began to draft towards Carol's shop. Her food was new and exciting, and she introduced things like fried rice, jollof rice, and snacks that were unheard of in the village. Mama Ofe-Akwu watched as her customers, one by one, abandoned her. Each day, fewer and fewer people came to buy her beloved Ofe-Akwu. The one crowded shop became silent, and soon only a handful of loyal customers remained. Frustration and depression. As the day passed, Mama Ofe-Akwu became more frustrated. Her earnings dropped, and the pots of soup that once ran out by noon now sat untouched for hours. She couldn't understand why the villagers had turned their backs on her. She had served them faithfully for years, and now they were flocking to the new flagship shop. Desperation grabbed Mama Ofe-Akwu. She needed a solution. Her children were hungry, and the debts were piling up. It seems as if everything was falling apart. One night, as she sat alone, a dangerous idea entered her mind. She had heard stories of people going to native doctor for help, and thought she had never believed in such thing before. Her situation has changed. That night, Mama Ofe-Akwu made a decision that would alter her life forever. The following morning, Mama Ofe-Akwu set out to find the most powerful native doctor in the neighboring village. She walked for hours through the forest until she reached his shrine. The native doctor was an old man with deep set of eyes and a voice that set chill down the spine. He listened to her troubles, and after a long silence, he offered her a solution.
If you want your customers to come back,
the native doctor said,
you must cook with water from a dead body. Only then will your food be irresistible to the villagers.
Mama Ofe-Akwu was horrified at the suggestion, but the thought of losing everything she has built was even more terrifying. She agreed to the native doctor's plan, believing it was only way to save her business. From that day on, Mama Ofe-Akwu secretly began using the cost water in her cooking. It was difficult at first, and the thought of what she was doing made her sick. But soon, customers returned. Her shop became busier than ever. The villagers couldn't get enough of her food. Carol's once busy shop became empty. It wasn't long before Mama Ofe-Akwu was making more money than she ever had. But something strange began to happen. Some of the villagers who ate Mama Ofe-Akwu's food started complaining about an unpleasant smell. It was faint at first, but it grew stronger with time. Whenever someone asked Mama Ofe-Akwu about it, she denied knowing anything.
It's just your imagination,
she would say with a forced smile. But the rumor spread, and soon whispers of witchcraft and dark magic began to circulate through the village. Carol, who had been losing her customer to Mama Ofe-Akwu, became suspicious. She couldn't understand how Mama Ofe-Akwu had regained her popularity so quickly. Determined to uncover the truth, Carol decided to follow Mama Ofe-Akwu one night. One evening, as the sun set beyond the hills, Carol secretly followed Mama Ofe-Akwu through the forest. She had stayed hidden in the shadow. Her heart pounded as she watched Mama Ofe-Akwu enter the native doctor's shrine. Carol's eyes withered in shock as she saw Mama Ofe-Akwu leaving the shrine with a small pot of water. Carol knew at once that something was terribly wrong. The next morning, Carol called a meeting with the villagers. She told them what she had seen, and together they decided to confront Mama Ofe-Akwu. The villagers stormed at Mama Ofe-Akwu's shop. They catched her just as she was about to pour the cost water into her cooking pot. The villagers gasped in horror. Some screamed, while some stood frozen in shock. Mama Ofe-Akwu tried to defend herself, but the evidence was undeniable. The villagers dragged Mama Ofe-Akwu to the king's palace, where the elders of the village gathered to pass judgment. The king, a wise and just man, listened carefully to both sides of the story. He shook his head in disappointment as he addressed Mama Ofe-Akwu.
You have betrayed the trust of this village.
The king said,
You allowed greed to crowd your judgment, and for that you must be punished.
The king sentenced Mama Ofe-Akwu to sweep the entire village as the punishment for her evil actions. But that wasn't all. After the 100 days, Mama Ofe-Akwu would be banished from the village, never to return. The lesson as Mama Ofe-Akwu swept the dusty road of the village, she realized the gravity of her mistakes. She had allowed greed and desperation to lead her down a dark path, and now she has lost everything. Her once thriving business, her reputation, and her place in the village were all gone. The villagers no longer looked at her with admiration, but with pity and anger. Caro, on the other hand, became a symbol of resilience and integrity. Her shop slowly regained its customers, but she never gloated over Mama Ofe-Akwu's downfall. Instead, she continued to cook with love and respect for her craft, knowing that in the end, honesty always prevailed. Mama Ofe-Akwu's story became a cautionary tale for the generation to come. It was a reminder that no matter how difficult life became, one should never resort to evil means to solve their problem. And so, the village of Ano returned to its peaceful ways, forever changed by the rise and fall of Mama Ofe-Akwu. The end.